What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. This is another cachyOS video, kind of like telling you what you should do when you first install cachyOS. Or generally speaking, this guide will kind of work for like a lot of like the other distributions like Pop! OS. So when you first get your thing popping up, you're gonna get this thing up. It says cachyOS hello. You can go in here to install any apps you want. Like these are all the categories. If you want to work on audio, you can get something like a K-Wave to edit your sound. If you want to work in browsers, I suggest no, that's communication. My bad. Browsers, I suggest just getting Brave. It's the best browser right now in terms of what I believe is for security. I recently found out Firefox is going to be putting AI into their browser, and Chrome is owned by Google, so screw both of those people and get Brave. They also have I believe, a VPN built into Brave. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Communications, I mean, if you use Discord, go ahead, put Discord on. You can go through all this stuff like Signals on here, Telegram. Development is like if you're a developer, you want to make your apps, like you want to code. You can get stuff like GNOME for building, GNOME-based software. You get KDevelop for doing C++. Yeah, a lot of stuff here. You can go down to games. We're just gonna ignore that category. There's a lot of old retro games in here. Feel free to put those up. They're kind of interesting to try out. Graphics. This is kind of if you want to do photo editing or video editing. I didn't look myself. Is there a video editor here? I don't see any video in here for that. Maybe it's in a different category. Or maybe it's not here at all. Internet, of course, there's more stuff like FileZilla. I don't know what else is here. Qubit Torrent here. Putty is good if you have like another server you want to connect to via SSH. Yeah, mail, of course, if you get email. I'm gonna ignore that because people don't normally use email that much anymore. Multimedia, image, I guess, is in here. Radio players, MP3, live TV, I see right here. Although, honestly, if you can use live TV, just use Jellyfin and get like a Samsung TV tuner hooked up to that thing. Office, obviously, Office, if you want to make documents or something, you want to use that. Other, Variety is cool because it changes the wallpaper on a regular basis. We're actually going to install that too while I'm here. Video, stuff, I want to make this a little bigger so I can see it because there may be something here I want. You got media players, looks like. Editors, we're going to install that too while I'm here. VLC is good to have too, by the way. Virtualization, most people, unless you know what that is, will not use it. So just go ahead and install your apps you want. I'm going to move over to my monitor and you're going to type in your root password, which you hopefully remember. Because if you don't, you're going to have to reinstall. Then type in Y for yes, and it will install your new packages. Now on lots of distributions like Pop! OS and cachyOS and whatever you use, you can go back into this app too. It just doesn't. It also doesn't go away. You can go in there to install stuff. Now on cachyOS, there are apps and tweaks which are kind of important. You want to mess with. If you need Bluetooth, put Bluetooth on. A cache update obviously should be on because it's a notifier in the tray that tells you when updates are ready. And it looks like I have updates ready too. I don't know if you can see it, but down here at the bottom, cache update is here at the bottom. If I pull this up real quick, it says it looks for updates. And then it will notify you when there are updates. I'm just going to ignore this for now. Actually, there are. Holy crap, there are updates. See, these are updates, what you want to do. For security reasons, you want to do this all the time. And the great thing about this is, on here, you don't necessarily see me typing in my password, which is great for Linux. This terminal may seem scary sometimes, but just don't be putting commands in here you don't know how to do. I've actually went to school for Linux, as well as teaching myself a lot of it through using Gemini to learn things I don't know. But yeah, interesting things. If you are a gamer somewhere on yours, especially on cachyOS, you want to install those gaming packages. Click this. Mine are already installed, It'll ask if you want to like put Steam on there, stuff like that, and like Lutris and all that. If you want to change your DNS server for some random reason, like using, I believe Cloudflare has DNS servers you can use for extra security, or as well as Google, maybe, I'm not sure. You can do that. Otherwise than that, maybe just do a system update maybe, and then it should be good here. That's what you want to do there. Let me put this away. Now, if you have an NVIDIA card, I do suggest opening NVIDIA. And if you are a gamer, this is not necessarily, it doesn't have to happen, but I do recommend going down here to Power Miser, changing your preferred mode to prefer maximum performance if you are going to be gaming, especially with newer games like, Ark, Raiders and stuff, Yeah, prefer, like I said, prefer auto, maximum performance, auto. Honestly, auto would be fine, but I have mine on prefer maximum performance because I prefer maximum performance, right? But you can set that to auto too as well. And I believe that's all we need to do here. We went over the updates and the what do you call it? The hello screen, or the thing that pops up when you first install Linux. When we went over like your NVIDIA stuff, honestly, also here, if you have multiple monitors, you want to go into your display configuration, edit the arrangement. You may have to play with this to get them the way you want to. You can hit the identify button at the top right to identify each monitor, and then you can move them to where they need to be. I noticed on mine, like the right hand monitor was actually put to the left, so I had to drag it over and then drag the right one over to the left. So if you have 3 monitors, you may have that issue. Next thing, make sure your adaptive sync is at least on automatic or on all the time. HDR, leave that off. HDR is just not good on Linux right now. And honestly, HDR is, it's okay. You don't necessarily need it all the time. In here, I believe we are done with that. I'm not a complete expert, but I think I'm going over the most important things. Let's open up this. If you're a gamer, you also want to probably bookmark ProtonDB. Like, let's say if I wanted to play Life is Strange Before the Storm, which actually isn't working for me, I'll type that in, and it'll tell you if it's compatible and working fine with the Linux, right? And it does take a second to load usually, but yeah, I do recommend bookmarking that on Brave. Just hit the thing at the left on the top, and you can set that. Yeah, this game looks good. It does look good. And it does tell you workarounds here. If your game doesn't work, you can use the workarounds to get it, working, But yeah, I think that's everything I really wanted to hit. And of course, if you want to do widgets, just hit enter mode, add or manage widgets at the very top left of the screen. And you can add a bunch of stuff in here. Like I have my weather there, my disk usage. I have my which actually I'm wondering why that doesn't show all my drives. I would imagine I could edit that. You can even add other things here. You can add like comic strips to there. You can brightness and color controls, Bluetooth controls. If you have Bluetooth, audio volume is actually a good one I should have here. Unfortunately, it does show all audio devices, which I don't necessarily need. But we'll just put that on my monitor to the left here, which is awesome. I can't really drag it over there. Oh, I can. See, this is the good thing about Linux is you get all these, really good controls outside of what Windows has. You can do all these interesting things, But yeah, there's a lot here to mess around with. But this kind of was just me going over like the most important things that I thought was important. I think I hit everything. Power management, honestly, you don't want to suspend the system. We don't want to display the system ever. I don't need that. I'm just gonna turn that off for myself. Turn off screen. Never. Actually, no, dim automatically. 30 seconds. We can dim automatically after 10 minutes. That's fine. It saves power. Just don't turn it off. Because honestly, you don't need that. Most people it's just unneeded. You don't save that much power doing that. And yeah, I think that's everything I covered. Yeah, I don't have a touchscreen. Oh, God, that would be cool if I did. But gamers don't use touchscreens. They really don't. But yeah, honestly, after that, I think I have hit everything. Just make sure, like, you got a system, when you installed Linux, that you have, an ISO that actually worked well with your, you know, system. Like, if you have NVIDIA, make sure you get the cachyOS version for NVIDIA. If not, you have, I don't know, a different, manufacturer of your graphics card, get that version. I mean, it's not that difficult as it seems to be. I did do another video on Linux. If you want to go check that out. Anyway, thanks for watching this. If you think I missed something, feel free to put it in the comments for other people. But this was just kind of things I felt like I have to do. And of course, put a freaking password on your computer, people. And don't give root access. There's no reason to, give root access to anybody besides yourself. You can sudo win. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. If you like what I did, comment, subscribe, and do all the yada yada things. Peace out.